How many times have you gone online and seen where somebody on Facebook or YouTube is live streaming a television show or a paid-per-view event? You've seen it happen. We've all seen it happen. Now, what about if the online company where you streamed it turned around and sent you a bill for $100,000? That's exactly what's happened, and we're going to be talking about it in copyrights and copyright law in the online community. This Tech Mooc is brought to you by Harvard Law School.
Welcome to Tech Mooc. What's Mooc? Massive open online courses, and this podcast will give you a massive dose of tech and business savvy. Moocs from Harvard, MIT, Cambridge and every major university around the globe are the way to stay ahead of the business curve. Your host for this program is Jovan Hutton Pulitzer, the internet pioneer who created Scan to Connect and Scan Commerce. You know, while you're able to scan codes with your mobile device and get information. So let's get started. Here's Jovan.
I think this actually happens to be one of my most significant online pet peeves. Maybe it's because I come out of the television industry and have been on television and go on Facebook and find the very broadcast that I was on for a hit TV show being streamed by somebody on Facebook absolutely free. It's not that I don't want people to get the information, it's just I understand there are copyrights and legal issues involved, and you should not be able to just restream something from your TV or restream something from cable or even restream a movie or a live event, but yet it's happening by the millions. Well, the industry is having to crack down. Now, have you ever wondered about how Facebook and the TV companies are now finally winning the fight against illegal pay-per-view streaming? This is a big legal and monetary issue for the industry. Let's get it straight right now. When somebody places this streaming online, you should report it, even as I've done myself, but Facebook traditionally doesn't respond because sometimes in the community, people that are handling tech think it's absolutely okay. It's just a little bit of streaming. It doesn't matter. But let's say you went to a boxing match, right? And there was a very high-profile pay-per-view boxing match. Now, you went there, but you decided all of a sudden you wanted to pick up your iPad and you wanted to stream the bout you paid for to about 4,250 people online who you could call cheapskates that didn't want to pay for it. Would that be okay? You paid for your ticket, you went there, but can you re-stream it? Is that allowed? Is it even ethically okay? This is something that challenges the industry today. Well, what if, all of a sudden, if somebody did stream this, that a bill was sent to you by the company because they went ahead and just reported the stream, the pay-per-view company looked at how many people logged into the stream, and then multiplied that how many people, in this case 4,250, by the price of the ticket, and then sent you a bill that you were legally liable for. Well, this is a real case. It really happened, and it might be the new standard to dissuade people from stealing live stream, TV, paid-per-view, or movies and putting them online. That's what we're going to discuss in this Tech Mooc right after this.
Hang tight, Tech Mooc will be right back.
Oh man, the 90s. So cool. Remember this banging tune? Jump on the tram, catch it up, grab a sandwich, chomp it. My Nancy plays the trumpet. Dun, 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 dun.
We can't totally recall the 90s, like if you had PPI on a loan, credit card or mortgage, for example. Luckily, we don't have to. Many PPI providers now have online checking tools. Search FCA PPI for more info.
Do it now!
Geico presents Unhelpful Home Improvement How-Tos.
A slippery bathroom floor can result in expensive hospital bills. So today, I'll show you how to cushion a serious fall by filling your bathroom with thousands of plastic balls. Just nail a piece of plywood across the doorway and dump in 2,000 multicolored plastic balls.
You could try to protect yourself with a bathroom full of plastic balls, or you could get liability coverage through the Geico Insurance Agency. Visit geico.com and see how affordable renter's insurance can be.
We're back. Here's Jovan with Tech Mooc.
You know, this copyright issue online is a big deal, especially if it's just outright theft, like restreaming a pay-per-view event. It's not like the radio industry where you use drops of music, pieces like that, and it's all within fair use. It's about actually taking it and broadcasting this pay-per-view event out there. But yet you see it happen all the time, primarily on YouTube and Facebook. And that's what we're talking about today. And it's all about copyright and what is the law. And that's why this particular program is brought to you by Harvard Law School. And we're going to give you a Mooc, an online course. You're going to love it because this one's absolutely free. You can find it. Just Google Copyright X. That's Copyright X plus Harvard. Now, what this is a group of lectures that you can watch online so you can get a true grasp of copyright law. Now, these lectures, it's 12 lectures that were delivered by Professor William Fisher at Harvard Law School, and it will give you an idea of what to expect in copyright, especially if you're producing your own material and you want to protect it. The modules include, number 1, the foundations of copyright law, number 2, fairness and personality theories, number 3, the subject matter of copyright, then welfare theory, authorship, the mechanics of copyright, the rights to reproduce and modify, rights to distribute, perform, and display, what is fair use, cultural theory, supplements to copyright, which is about secondary liability, and para-copyright. You ever heard of that? Para-copyright. And then the final module is about the remedies that you can take. This is a serious issue, folks, and both sides have to deal with it. I think there's an obligation for any logical human being that if these things are being restreamed, don't just pass it away. Don't just let it set aside. You need to report it. Don't just be an idle bystander, because to say nothing is to actually acquiesce and comply to it. But how does Facebook and these TV companies, what are they doing to attempt to win the fight against illegal pay-per-view streaming? Now, I set this up for you because live streaming is increasingly mainstream. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, they now have live streaming baked into the app. So with a flick of a button, you could broadcast anything to hundreds, if not thousands of people. Now that means as you have a device in your hand, if you go to an event you have to pay for and you click on live and you film it, you are actually breaking the law. So let's talk about an exact case that happened that might share some light for you on how are these companies deal with it. In this particular case, it's a boxing match. Now think about a boxing match available only through pay-per-view. And some of these things just do ridiculous numbers. There was a man, I'm not going to tell you about where he was or anything else like this, just so you understand it, that got in hot water because they streamed together a high-profile boxing match. In fact, they streamed it to over 4,000 people. This fellow was only 34 years old. He paid $20 to watch a match from a satellite TV provider. In this case, it was Sky TV. Now, the person who is going to pay the damages and got in trouble said that some point during the night, a friend of his picked up his iPad and used it to restream the boxing fight to 4,250 people. Well, what happened is Sky TV noticed that this particular person live streamed it. Remember, there's a signature, there's your ID, so they saw it online being restreamed. So the company says, hey, that's revenue that we lost from this fellow restreaming our live event. Here's what they've done. And this isn't the first time that a paid TV provider has cracked down on a customer restreaming the content. In fact, this is happening all over the world. But in this particular case, there's been a back and forth going against this about, hey, is this okay or not okay or whatever the case may be. But in this particular one, this man restreamed to those 4,200 people they sent him a bill for approximately $100,000. They had the right to bill him. It says, look, you restreamed it. Here's a bill for $100,000. And all of a sudden, this guy is in deep dookie because he did it. People don't think about the fact that restreaming this actually violates copyright law. They don't even think about some of the hooks that are in it or the identifying codes that are in these broadcasts that allows these companies to actually pinpoint the account that it's streamed to. Another fellow did the same thing in October of last year. He was rebroadcasting this to sports event. Now, he didn't get a bill per se from the provider and have to fight over it. He just got sued. $20,000 in legal fees later, he finally was able to settle the case. Now, you have to think about this. You think in a pulse of a moment, an impulse, that it's okay to rebroadcast this. You paid a ticket. You want to send it out. Well, think of the very nature that you are paying for that one stream for you, a one-up play. Before anybody does this, do you think they think about, wait a minute, what if I get a bill for this? This might cause me legal trouble. And that is why these companies like Facebook and others have set up their own in-house systems, which are called rights managers, which allow content owners to create a library of content that they actually want to protect. They have now created an automated process that monitors these right managers, right, your rights in the database, and if it detects there's a match, meaning it's restreamed from somebody else, then basically it interrupts the broadcast and will cut it off. Now, all of these can't actually be caught. The system's too big, there's too many users. But now, Facebook, in an unprecedented move, every time a live feed through Facebook ends, it automatically checks against live stream encoding like Audible Magic before it's saved in perpetuity. That basically means that, okay, if the stream doesn't catch it and end it, and the person who was streaming it, then they end the live content because it's over. It does one more check for these hidden audible cues, and if it pings for one of those cues, then they cut it off. Now, no system is going to be foolproof at all. It's going to be difficult to manage every one of those, but there has to be a system that gives enough disincentive to doing this. This is going to become a big issue. And here's where it's going to become a big issue. So like I talked about in my other broadcast, with Disney now entering live streaming and pay-per-view, and they're doing their own streaming process, and Apple doing its own streaming process, how many people do you think are going to think, oh, it's cool, I'll restream it and be whatever? Well, if enough people get bills, huge bills, maybe this will stop. The end result is prices for online content and pay-per-view actually might come down because there's less online illegal theft. Until next time.
Thanks for being with us here on Tech Mooc. You can find each episode using hashtag TechMOOC or search hashtag Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. Until next time.